Hello, we are in the Cultural Pluralism and Right of Minorities workshop of Carlos III University of Madrid in Spain. And today our speaker is Jedrzej Skrzypczak. Sorry for my pronunciation in Polish, always is horrible, but is with a lot of good feelings for our guest today because he's one of my dearest colleagues and good friend that is for us is JJ. We pronounce as JJ, and we have been working together for a long time in RC26, and we have edited several volumes. Now in May, we are going to publish a volume in Palgrave about the digital divide, and it will be an achievement of mutual collaboration, and it's a very good opportunity and a very good cooperation, having had this good relationship with JJ. I have learned things from him, and we work well together, and this is important. Okay, today is the guest of the Cultural Pluralism and Right of Minorities. And I would like to make a formal presentation. I would like to read his CV. For Jedrzej Skrzypczak, sorry for my pronunciation, head of the Media System and Media Law Department on the Faculty of Political Science at Mickiewicz University in Poznan, Poland. His academic interests focus on the several research areas: freedom of speech, censorship, propaganda, and human rights. Chair of the Research Committee 26 on Human Rights of the International Political Science Association, and Vice President of the Polish Scientific Society of the Press Law, co-editor books of Minority, Free Speech, and Internet with me, Alexis Tsesis, and him in Routledge 2023, Lessons for Implementing Human Rights from COVID-19, How the Pandemic Has Changed the World. He was the main editor. I was the secondary editor. Also in Routledge 2025. And now in 2025, we are going to edit this book in Palgrave about the digital divide. Well, for me, it's a great honor to have this special guest today with us. And the topic is Minorities, Free Speech, and the Internet. Is the topic of one of the book that we have edited. And well, I am looking forward here, Jedrzej, today. And the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you very much, Oscar, for introducing myself. This is a great honor to be in Madrid. I'm sorry that only virtually, not in person. I hope that it will be possible soon to meet somewhere. First of all, probably in Seoul during the World Congress of IPSA, and then maybe in Madrid, and finally maybe in our Mickiewicz University campus in Subice, where I am now, because as Oscar mentioned, we have here the International Conference, the Evolution of Political System and Human Rights. So, however, I'm very proud that I can be on this webinar, and I can share you with my research and outcomes of my research. Okay, Oscar, can I now show my presentation? Yeah. Okay. Let's start. Can you see my presentation or not?
No? No. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so my topic will be freedom of speech, minorities, and internet from the European perspective. And based on my research, you can find in this book, Oscar mentioned about our common project. Common, I mean also about Alexis Tsesis and of course Oscar Pérez de la Fuente, minorities, free speech, and the internet. And one of the chapter in this book, this is my chapter, Freedom of Speech, Minorities and Internet from the European Perspective. But today I would like to share with you my other outcomes from my research, because so it was in 2023, it was published in Routledge, so it means that the publication process took many months. So in the digital age, so we can say that we live in the revolutionary era. So 2 years. This is the new chapter. We can say. So let's start. Let's start from the some basic thesis, because I think that not only for me, but freedom of speech, freedom of media, freedom of expression is one of the elementary and fundamental human rights. So for every healthy democracy, this is so the main feature, the fundament of the democracy. But of course, we can discuss about freedom of free speech, media, or like, for example, in Article 10, European Convention on Human Rights, freedom of expression. This is interesting, and even today morning, I met with my colleague also from Spain on this conference, and we discussed about some linguistic problems. So I mentioned that we have in Polish language such term like freedom of speech, wolność słowa, freedom of media, freedom, wolność mediów, but we don't have freedom of expression. This is interesting, and I think that maybe this is the reason why we don't have such term in our language. This is our history and problem with this freedom. Yeah, but of course we live, we can say, in digital age era. I don't know era. I mean about how it how long it will take. But it is this period is characteristic by dynamic development, especially of this field internet media, but not only in the media platform. So maybe you know such sociologist who was born in my family town, Zygmunt Bauman, who was because he died a few years ago. Zygmunt Bauman was a professor on Leeds University, and he proposed such term liquid modernity. It means that everything is changing, yeah, and we live in such a period that we are not sure even such values or terms which were during the years obvious, yeah. So, and during my presentation, I would like to underscore some paradoxes, of yeah, this form of communication of persons, because of course internet and social media, it could be the haven for freedom of speech, yeah, because it means that especially in social media, that everyone could share the content, could share the opinion, his some information, etc. So it means that it could be a great chance also for minority groups. But on the other hand, so, and this is the first paradox which I would like to underscore, that the minorities are the main target of hate speech. Yeah, So it means that it seems that this is an area of freedom, of happiness, etc. But in fact, we can say that this freedom goes to anarchy, and and in the result we have many problems. Okay, the agenda of my presentation based on two approaches. One, this is example of two types of minorities, because we can, for example, we can find such minorities like ethnic, languages, national minorities. And second type, it's sexual minorities. What is the difference? Not only the feature, of course, which was the base of these differences, but I mean which I tried to analyze in this chapter in this book published in Routledge, that we have many international regulations, but this regulation covers ethnic rather and national minorities, and you can find such guarantees for these categories of minorities. And this is not obvious and not always true in the case of sexual minorities. Like, for example, in Poland, I give you on the end the examples here on this in this point. And so, from minorities' point of view, when we think about the media perspective, we can say that we can find two challenges. First, this is access to media. And we can say that it was very important, but during the analog media, traditional media, not now, when everyone could be broadcasters. Everyone could share information, opinion, etc. So once again, access to the media. It was the hot topic in the analog media era. But now we can say that the main challenge, this is the protection of dignity, people from which are the members of these minorities. So we can say that this is protection against hate speech. And it will be the construct of my presentation. So we can say also, yeah, here you can see some points which I would like to present during this presentation. I will start from freedom of speech. What does it mean in the digital era? Definition of minorities, some explanation about the access of minorities to the media and regulation on this field, internet media and new challenges of minorities, because, yeah, so we have social media phenomenon. It means that we have many challenges on this field and many paradoxes. For example, paradoxes of freedom of speech in social media. Like hate speech. And on the end, I would like to present you completely fresh information about the new draft, in fact, because President of Poland sent to Constitutional Tribunal this regulation, Polish Criminal Code, from 2024. In fact, this is still in progress, this regulation, and here you can find some crimes motivated by discriminatory grounds. So I mean about sexual minorities, of course. And on the end, conclusions and very short video prepared by US embassy, but not during the Donald Trump period, but from 2021. And I don't know, it would be possible during the Donald Trump presidency, such video preparing by US official office. It is also interesting. This is only 3 minutes, but I hope that it could be interesting about hate speech and sexual minorities. So let's start. Let's start from beginning. The pillars of international protection of freedom of expression, freedom of speech. And question is, so such norms like Universal Declaration of Human Rights, especially Article 19 from 1948, International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, also Article 19, but from adopted in 1966, European Convention on Human Rights, and Article 10 from 1950. And the newest, the Charter of Fundamental Rights of the European Union, Article 11 from 2012. So question is whether this norm of international law or European law can be applied to the digital, in the digital era, to the challenges of the digital era. So question is it still valid, still important in the digital era, and if we, whether we using these norms in digital era? Yes, so this is questions. I remember because Oscar mentioned some books which we published together, but also I remember this book when we met first time in Madrid, and after it was anniversary of Universal Declaration on Human Rights in 2018, and my chapter in this book, it was about how we should understand the European Declaration of Human Rights in digital, especially Article 19 in digital era. Yeah, so we have answers on this dilemma. So, for example, like in decision of European Court of Human Rights from 2011, in the case editorial board of Prawo i Dielo and Stekel versus Ukraine, and European Court stated here such words. It is true that the internet is an information and communication tool, particularly distinct from the printed media, especially as regards the capacity to store and transmit information. The electronic network serving billions of users worldwide is not and potentially will never be subject to the same regulation and control. This is interesting. Yeah. The risk of harm posed by content and communication on the internet to the exercise and enjoyment of human rights and freedoms, particularly the right to respect for private life, is certainly higher than the posed by the traditional press. Yeah. So this is interesting view, and there is interesting opinion. But generally, we can say, okay, so this main regulation were adopted in the analog era, but they are still valid in the era. Of course, we can say that many, or we can say that even everything has changed on this level of media. So analog and digital media. This is a little bit, or maybe completely different words. Yeah, but because you must remember that in the internet we can find traditional radio, traditional television, traditional newspaper, but also the new forms of activity, like, for example, social media. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Further. Communication on the internet is a new chance in the term of the possibility of sharing opinions. Yeah. It was said that the digital era and the internet, and especially social media, it will be, as I mentioned, the new haven for freedom of speech. Yeah. But on the other hand, paradoxically, we can find many new threats to the freedom of speech. For example, in the analog era, we had in fact two bodies which were responsible for regulation of this field: states and international organizations. For example, like United Nations, I mean about international organization, European Union, etc., and states, regulation in constitution, yeah, etc. But now we have the third type of bodies of actors, which who have particular responsible for freedom of expression. I mean about private corporation, like Meta, for example. Yeah, and now we can say that we can observe the privatization of censorship. Who is in fact responsible for censorship? Elon Musk, for example, and Mark Zuckerberg, and their algorithm. So, in fact, this is a decision of Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. And in the case of TikTok, in fact, I don't know, because we are still waiting for Donald Trump decision. I mean about the case of TikTok in US, yeah, because he postponed the decision, American court decision, for next 3 months, yeah, and we are still waiting for decision who will be owner of TikTok. Yeah, and please also remember about the next point. So I mean about the differences in American and European attempts or concept of freedom of speech. What I mean. Of course, sources of law. In the case of American freedom of speech, this is, of course, First Amendment to U.S. Constitution. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. Okay, but we can say, like in the case of Brandenburg versus Ohio from 1969, that this is in this case, this is a very broad protection here. Yeah, no preventive prohibition, protection of controversial speeches, even racist, xenophobic, shocking, offensive, etc. And we have here prohibition of the state censorship. In Europe, we have a little bit different attempts to the idea of freedom of speech. We have Article 10 of European Convention on Human Rights. Everyone has the right to freedom of expression, but in next points, we have such a sentence: the exercise of this freedom carries with it duties and responsibilities. So it means that freedom of speech is not absolute. So this is result of European heritage of Second World War, yeah, for example, and this happened, which happened in the Europe, Holocaust, etc. So because freedom of speech could be restricted for reason of protecting morality, public order, national security, the right of others, protection of reputation, dignity, hate speech. And also, it is important to underscore the judicial balance of rights. Dignity versus freedom of expression. We should always try to find so balance between these values. Yeah? On the other hand, this is interesting where this balance is, in fact, in which point. Yeah? And of course, when we think about the European Convention of Human Rights, please remember about Article 17 of European Convention and prohibition of abuse of right, for example, here. Yeah? So, and we have many cases like one of the famous cases, Handicide versus United Kingdom from 1976. Geraldi versus France from 2003. And when we think about the responsibility of internet, website portals, etc., or internet user comments, this is Delphi versus Estonia from 2015. Yeah? So maybe it was the reason why J.D. Vance, during his speech in Munich, during the Munich Security Conference in 2024, accused the Europe for, in fact, limitation of freedom of expression. He used such sentence that here it's some savage words like disinformation or misinformation, yeah, and he accused of some many problems and cases. So I think that maybe the reason is that this is the two attempts to the freedom of speech. I don't know which one is better, yeah. But we must understand and we must agree that we have maybe a little bit different tradition, history, experiences, but we have, maybe we should have, but maybe not yet. But I mean about the common values. I mean about European Atlantic European Atlantic Alliance. Relationship. Yeah, this is maybe a big question for the future. Still, had we still in the same same group of nation, we share the same values still or not? Okay, I think that we will see. We'll find the answer of this question maybe soon. But yeah, let's jump to the next slide about what does it mean minorities. Okay, majority and minorities groups could be defined in terms of different features like size, participation in power, or status in society. But usually, minority would denote usually negatively stigmatized, ostracized, oppressed, and outcast individuals. On the other hand, majority, it means that this is members of better society, better group, etc. Yeah, so we can say that majority, this is a better kind of people, and minorities worse. Yeah, but of course this is not true, and all international regulation try to fight with this way of thinking. Yeah. Once again, I mentioned about it at the beginning. What from the media perspective is the greatest challenges for minorities, but because generally we can say that such issues like survival and existence, promotion of protection of identity of minorities, equality and non-discrimination, and effective of meaningful participation. But from the media perspective, you can say that 2 points are very important. Yeah, access to the media and protection of dignity of people, people who are members of this group. But let's jump to the next paradox of social media as era. So in digital era, and thanks to special social media and internet media, we can say that thanks to some algorithm bots and even next big challenge for human rights, for people, etc., for the world, it is possible to make the minority become a majority. Yeah, because we have in fact virtual world. So personality in this digital world, in the virtual world, is it's virtual. So it means so suddenly majority could become a majority. Yeah, this is next, in my opinion, paradox. So when we think about access of minority to the media, once again, it was very important during the analog media, during the era of analog television, radio, etc. Yeah, and we had from this time some regulation. For example, UNESCO Convention on the Protection and Promotion of the Diversity and Cultural Expression, Article 6. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, Framework Convention for the Protection of National Minorities and Article 9, the right to freedom of expression of every person belonging to the national minority, once again, national minorities, yeah, or minorities, language, etc., etc., yeah. So European Charter for Regional and Minority Languages, so parties, it means states, undertake so to facilitate the creation and regular broadcasting at least one radio station, a television channel, etc. A charter obligate the parties to facilitate the production and distribution of audio and audiovisual work in regional or minority languages, etc. European Charter, yeah, again. But maybe now, this is a more important point and more important challenge, protection of dignity of these people. When everyone could share the information, so we should protect these people against hate speech because they are target of this attack. Yeah. And yeah, paradoxes of digital age. So this is maybe subtitle of my presentation: paradoxes of digital age. Yeah. So because once again, that metaphorically we can say that with the development of internet, we discover the new continent. Colonization of this area, it's similar a little bit, like in the times of great geographical discoveries. I know that Juan Pablo doesn't like this term, great geographical discoveries. when we met in Poznan. I don't know, Juan Pablo, maybe you remember. We visited the museum of the beginning of the Polish state. So this time, exactly, tomorrow, we will celebrate 1,000 years of the first coronation of the first Polish king. Yeah? And in Poznan, we have the special museum of this kind of history. And we observed on the exposition the line of years, and it was the year when Christoph Columb and discovered the America. And Juan Pablo asked me, but why he discovered the America? We were lived there always. So I think that this term, great geographical discoveries, this is maybe European point of view, yeah? Maybe Europe, and maybe not. This is political correctness, yeah. And so, the phenomenon of digital age is especially the dynamic development of social media. Yeah, it's true. The internet from the beginning has been developing in the spirit of freedom, but it was at the beginning from free from control. Yeah, and it has been treated as a common good of all users. So I think that unfortunately this is past. Yeah, and this is history. Now we can say that this is we have completely different circumstances. However, we can observe the paradox of freedom of expression. Sometimes the sphere of freedom is abused here and falls prey to undemocratic, hostile, malignant entities. Yeah, because, for example, please remember about disinformation, misinformation, malinformation in the internet. Why it is so natural word for such disinformation? Okay, I will try to explain maybe later. So on the one hand, we can say that this is like metaphorically haven for freedom, for idealistic word of freedom of speech. But in fact, internet and social media can be used to manipulate the media and users, yeah, and public. So this is a question: should we regulate this area? If yes, in which way? How is it possible? When we think that this is a global web, I mean about the internet and social media, and here we have next paradox, that in fact, when we think about social media, we think about the private corporation, American or Chinese corporation, sorry. Okay, so we can say that when we have more than 8 billion people in the urban zone, so we have more than 5 billion. This is almost 70% of mobile phone users. So 66% of this global population people are users of internet. and 62%. This is social media users. So we have that majority of global society is connected. So great, it's maybe good news. But when we think about these paradoxes, so we can say that, okay, maybe this is a big chance or big threat. Look at this, what's happened in Australia. So this year, it will be forbidden. Official for people under 16 years old access to the social media, not internet, social media. Why? Because according to the outcomes of research, social media could be dangerous for young people. I can see it, for example, in my family, when I can observe my children. My daughter, 6-year-old, and my son, 12 years old. And after such, okay, I don't know. This is correct or not. For example, from the human right point of view, but they have a limited time for using social media, yeah, only 30 minutes a day. Why? Because when they spend more time, so it makes them aggressive, angry, nervous, etc. Yeah. Unfortunately, this is it seems that social media and the internet could be danger. Yeah, danger for the adolescents, for example. Yeah. Okay. Let's go further. Yeah, social media phenomenon. When we try to define this term, what does it mean? Social media, social network side. We can say that this is communication platform in which participants have uniquely identifiable profiles that consist of user-supplied content provided by the users, and all system-level data can publicly articulate connection that can be viewed and traversed by others, and can consume, produce, and or interact with streams of user-generated content provided by their connection on this site. Yeah, so it means that so this is social media. This is combination of the different kinds of media, but everyone can be a viewer, but also broadcasters in this on this in this work. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I maybe this is a controversial thesis, but in my opinion, social media leads to the polarization of contemporary societies, increased social tension and conflicts. So when we discuss about Donald Trump and last election in the United States, we always repeat that, okay, this society is so we can observe polarization of this society. The same we have in Poland, for example. I don't know how it works in Spain, but I think that this is typical for contemporary societies. It's strange or maybe amazing that despite we have social media, so it means that we should have many opinions, many fragmentation of opinions, yeah, but we have in fact polarization. So why? So what role play in this game social media? This is a question, I think, for next research. So maybe it could be controversial, but I think it seems that especially social media leads to polarization of contemporary societies. So, of course, I appreciate the possibility of sharing information. So we can say that this is a haven for freedom of speech. I mean about social media, internet. But here it's we can find many such paradoxes. Yeah, because everyone can share the information and opinion, but maybe not everyone should do it. Okay, let's go further. Why we have such situation? Okay, this is only some answers, because we have anonymity. So it is next problem. This is reach and speed of circulation information algorithm. So when we think about algorithm, we should also remember about the information bubble effect. So a lack of direct accountability, lack of moderation, of insufficient moderation. So, okay. Yeah, once again, this is the two aspect of the same situation. Yeah? Arguments in favor of social media promoting freedom of speech, accessibility, reach of speech, democratization of public debate. So platform of social movements. We can say even that now we have democratization of international policy of I mean about so communication with people by Donald Trump. Yeah. So or maybe you remember this discussion between Polish Minister Foreign Affairs Radosław Sikorski and Elon Musk. Yeah. About the it was a few weeks ago about the Starlinks in Ukraine, and who should and why we, I mean about Poland, we would like to pay for it for Starlink, yeah, to not Elon Musk. So yeah, we can say that this is a kind of democratization of international policy, of international relationship, but I'm not sure this is the proper way to discuss some issues. For example, what's happened in the White House during the Zelensky visit and meeting with Donald Trump. Yeah. But on the other hand, we can say that social media gives us a kind of censorship, or maybe rather privatization of censorship and content moderation. No state, rather private corporations are responsible for this speech, for this area of the speech. Okay. filter bubbles, the phenomenon of self-censorship. I mean that, for example, when you're afraid about the hate speech, you try to be silent because you're afraid that okay, when you will share your opinion, in result you will be the goal of attacks of other persons. So this is cyberbullying, etc. For example. Okay, let's go further. According to the international and European research, for example, globally, almost 70% of internet users have encountered hate speech, because when we think about social media and discussion, of course, unfortunately, we should also think about this problem. I'm sorry. When we discuss about Facebook, TikTok, you can see here the percentage, how many users match with hate speech. In European Union, 49% of young Europeans in the age 16-29 encountered hostile content online. And it is interesting that on the top of this list, according to the European research, it's Scandinavian countries like Denmark and Finland, and also Estonia. But Estonia is now very close to the Scandinavian countries. It is interesting in why in these countries where it seems that democracy or quality of democratic values is on the high level, we can find so many hate speech. It is interesting. Maybe not only for the media researcher, but maybe rather for psychiatrists. Okay. The doctrine of freedom of expression on the internet. The necessity to undertake legal action aimed to counteracting the intensified appearance of harmful, dangerous, and illegal contents was relatively quickly observed. It is correlative with the discussion of the possibility of qualifying the internet space as a public space. It is interesting, question and problem. Is the social media or internet, this is a public space or not? We had some discussion, for example, after this riots in 2021 in Washington. Of course, we can say that access to the internet and open electronic communication could be considered as human rights in the 21st century. Why? Because, for example, education via internet, social offers, etc. It is possible only via internet. So we saw how it was important during the COVID-19 era. On the other hand, we should underscore that such freedom should be under the protection of the law. But we must remember also that the internet and the doctrine of freedom of the internet with its non-territorially present a big key challenge. Of course, it is possible to find a person who will be responsible, but sometimes when we think in the category of state, it could be problematic when we have the offender from the different point in the globe. Yeah. The next paradox of the web, the internet is a global network, of course. Yeah, global network. We feel it. For example, fortunately, okay, maybe not. Unfortunately, because for me, Madrid is a beautiful place, and Swiss, okay. But I'm sorry, I'm sure that it's better to visit Madrid than Subice, okay. But I think that so we have global network, but major players on this internet market, like Google, Facebook, X, this is national players, yeah. Especially we can see this problem now when we have this discussion between J.D. Vance and European politicians, yeah, about the borders of freedom of expression. When we think about AfD in Germany and Elon Musk or J.D. Vance opinion about this party. So it is interesting question, and this is yeah. So question about the okay. We can say that like Donald Tusk, not Trump, Tusk, the prime minister, said 1 week ago that so idea of naive global global relationship. This is now we can say that is finished. Yeah, we should, for example, when we think about the corporations, even private corporations, we should think from regional or country's point of view. Yeah. So I can see that that also idea of independent media. Now it is also or could be the discussion about so independent media or sovereignty of media. I think that it could be on the topic very soon. So let's go further. Okay, this is opinion about UN Secretary Antonio Manuel Guterres when he promoted UN strategy and plan of action on hate speech. Around the world, we are seeing disturbing groundswell and of xenophobia, racism, and intolerance. Social media and other forms of communication are being exploited as forms of bigotry. Public discourse is being weaponized of political gain with incendiary rhetoric and stigmatize and dehumanize minorities, migrants, refugees, women, and any so-called others. Yeah, this is a problem. Others. Yeah, hate speech is in itself an attack on tolerance, inclusion, diversity, and the very essence of our human rights, norms, and principles. More broadly, it undermines social cohesion, erodes shared values, and can lay the foundation for violence, setting back the cause of peace, stability, sustainable development, and the fulfillment of human rights for all. Yeah, and I think that this diagnosis, and unfortunately, very important and truly. So once again, this is next paradox. Once again, it seemed that internet, the social media, will be this surface for free circulation of values, of opinions, etc. And in fact, we can find mostly hate speech here. Yeah, this is a problem and big challenge. Yeah, about privatization of censorship, I mentioned, of course, when I think who is responsible, we can say that this is media content aggregators, yeah, because we can say that sometimes they block access to the internet, social media for some groups of people, some people, etc. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe this is different regulatory approaches to the internet and social media from the case of disinformation, and maybe not. This is not important now because Oscar, I don't know how. So should I finish or not? How many?
Okay, I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. I try to go to the final
Yeah.
sentence and conclusions. Yeah, definition of hate speech. Okay, and you can find here the UN regulation of hate speech. We don't have the definition of hate speech, but in international law you can find similar words, expression, etc. For example, this is also in my opinion very interesting document, Rabat Action Plan from 2012, and you can find here 6-factor test to distinguish between protected and prohibited speech. So we can say that there's legally and illegally, or hate speech or extreme speech. Okay, so we can use a different word here. Context, speaker, intention, form of expression, reach of its implicated likelihood of harm. Yeah. Okay. This is a report of the Special Rapporteur UN of minority issues from 2021, and and here Special Rapporteur underscore that the combat with hate speech, online communication is one of the most important thing, especially in the case of minorities. Yeah. And so you can find here also, of course, Article 10, and on the other hand, Article 17 on European Convention on Human Rights and your decision of European Court of Human Rights. Yeah, when we think about LGBT plus society, I think that special. Especially important. This is the first case, the Vejdaland and others versus Sweden, yeah, from 2012. Okay, and other instruments, recommendations, and yeah, Convention on cybercrime, or even not binding instrument like campaign no hate speech. Yeah, it is also interesting, and recommendation of European Commission against racism and intolerances, and it is also very interesting document, the EU Code of Conduct of Countering Illegal Hate Speech Online from 2016, because it was the attempt to using to self-regulation by the main players on this market. Yeah, And of course, Digital Services Act, and so the new philosophy of so position of online platform, yeah, in this context, and yeah. So special regulation of protection of LGBT plus LGBTQ plus persons in Europe. For example, Poland. Okay, we are in such point that we have the new Polish, so not the all criminal code, but we have so the act amending the criminal code, and it was adopted in 2024 in the end of last year, and you can find here some new crimes motivated by discriminatory grounds. So according to this draft, because this is not still a valid regulation, you can find on this list such a feature like age, disability, gender, and sexual orientation. Yeah, but unfortunately, lately, because in March 2025, President of Republic of Poland, Andrzej Duda, so his cadency is on the end, because so this is a second period, and so this is last month of this president. The president who was nominated by Law and Justice in 2015, and unfortunately, president who was and who is still in very we can say that this is Law and Justice Party president. Yeah. His responsibility for constitutional crisis in Poland, because he signed Law and Justice regulations, etc., etc. Yeah. So and he sent this amendment to the criminal code to the Constitutional Tribunal for preventive review. So it means that before Constitutional Tribunal should decide. It is this is so well against the constitution or not, yeah. But please remember, this is the reason why I paused for a minute, because in fact we don't have a constitutional tribunal now. This is the result of okay, this is a new chapter of should be chapter of my presentation. What's happened with the Constitutional Tribunal in Poland, but in fact we don't have Constitutional Tribunal. So in and I'm sure now what will be the Constitutional Tribunal decision here. Yeah. The same like opinion of Jarosław Kaczyński, who is the leader of Law and Justice Party. Yeah? Unfortunately, from my point of view, I'm lawyer, and unfortunately, this is strategy for democratic values in Poland. Yeah. According to the Andrzej Duda. Duda, this is this amendment to the criminal code is against some Polish constitutional rules, like rules of specificity of law, like So the law lacks axiological consistency and against the freedom of expression, because Article 54, this is article who introduced to the Polish Constitution, Article 10 of European Convention on Human Rights. Yeah. So let's jump to the conclusion. So William Shakespeare said many years ago, conversation should be pleasant without scurrility, witty without affectation, free without indecency, learn without coincidence, noble without falsehood. So, as I underscored many times, we can observe now some paradoxes of freedom of speech in social media. So this is a question also about should we regulate or not regulate cyberspace, social media, internet, etc. Of course, this is a separate chapter, yeah. But I think that education, this is and maybe self-regulation, this is one of the best solution here on this field. So we should always searching for the golden mean and balance between different values, I think. So it will be best solution from European Convention point of view. We can say also that my freedom ends where yours freedom begins. Yeah, and okay. It is Oscar. Is it possible to switch on this short video? It's only 3 minutes. Okay, maybe I put this link. Let's try.
Yeah, I try. But I don't know if you can watch this video. I think you need to share your screen. You need to share the screen.
My screen, okay. Okay.
You have to make click to the link and share the screen.
Okay. Okay, maybe on the end, or maybe you can watch this video a little bit later. But the main or key message from this video is that it's time to end the hate. We are so this is LGBTQI plus society. Yeah, the idea of okay. Juan Pablo, can you share it or not? So because the people from this society, they read comments which appeared under the Facebook profile, etc. And so. On the end, there is a message. It's time to end the hate. We are all equal, and we should treat others as we would like to be treated ourselves. I think that this is maybe the best resume of my presentation, because this LGBTQI plus society, it's especially in Poland. I don't know how in Spain, but in Poland, this is unfortunately So one of the most attacked people in social media. Yeah. Unfortunately, so during the last 8 years, during the Law and Justice Party period, unfortunately, it was this movement who attacked this person. It was supported by government. So it is a problem, and but this message, I think that it is good message from my presentation. So thank you very much. I don't know. Is it possible to share? Because I'm sorry. Maybe I should stop my presentation. Maybe I should stop my presentation. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, we have a few time, little
Okay.
time, and now is a tradition that there is an open turn for intervention. If someone wants to speak. I have 3 questions. If there is no question, the first one, it's a pity because a person, a student who left the session is interested, is studying now this question, and it's a genuine question because I have this doubt. It's about the digital divide between countryside and city. We have studied this in the book of Digital Divide, no, and it's something of a new minority. I never thought about, but she asked me if this digital divide between countryside and city could be considered a type of institutional violence. The differences between the access to the net, to the digital divide between the countryside and the city could be considered a question of institutional violence. The second question is, what do you think about the moderation in social networks? It's something according to public rules or according to private rules? Should be according to public rules or should be according to private rules?
You mean about, for example, community note? Okay,
yeah.
Okay, I will answer. Okay, yeah.
The debate between Twitter and the moderation in Twitter in X should be according to public rules, or should the state determine what are the rules for moderate message in a social network, or should be only the company should has the last word? And finally, my last question is about one LGBTB minority who is now in the headlines, is the transgender people. And what do you think? I know your opinion, but I would like that you express this opinion about the Trump administration definition of sex as biological sex as men and women. In the United States, there is only men and women biologically, and the prohibition of transgender people in the army. Do you think this is a case of transphobia? And what do you hear about the case in the United Kingdom? This ruling of the Supreme Court that says women are only biological women, however, transgender minorities should be protected. This could be also considered transphobia, or it's only a ruling according to human rights? Well, they are very difficult questions, I know, but are also very interesting.
Okay. Could you repeat your first question? I'm sorry, because I yeah.
Yes. My first question, yes, my first question was about the digital divide between the countryside and the city. we have a Mexican student who is studying now if this is a case of institutional violence. Do you consider this is violence, or do you consider this is a discrimination, but it's not violence?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so maybe let's start from the second question. So moderation of the discussion in social media. So yeah, maybe you mean about this example of what happened in X platform, former Twitter. And in US also lately in Facebook or Meta, so Elon Musk announced, and after the presidential election in the United States, also Mark Zuckerberg, okay, now we will have the new moderation of attempts to moderation of content, and which they called community notice. It means that so because Ariel, for example, on Facebook and Instagram, Facebook had some moderators. For example, in Poland, it was one of the NGOs organization who is responsibility, or who which specialize in so combating with disinformation, etc. And so it seems that, okay, the idea of community nodes sounds great, because it means that all people, or so people who are members of this society, will decide, okay, it is true or not true. This is disinformation or not. This is fake news or not. Yeah. So this idea, okay, maybe from owners of this platform, it's better because it's cheaper, because this is, non-professional, yeah, fact checking, in fact, yeah. So, but on the other hand, we have we must remember about the information bubble. It means that the society in social media are, in fact, this is a people who has the similar, same point of view on some cases. Yeah. Of course, algorithm make so the discussion that we are still in the same society. So when we think that, okay, something happened and this is completely different than we when we thought Ariel, so it means that I'm sure that this is not true. So time to conclude. I think that this is, this is next kind of populism. Yeah, that this community knows this is in fact the pure democracy and the pure freedom of speech. This is not true. When we think how social media works, we should know that such way of thinking, it's completely ineffective. Yeah. So yeah, when we think about LGBT, so Oscar, tell me. So I think that, for example, we have many genders, not only two, not three, not four, many genders. I think, for example, woman, man, but also clever woman, clever man, but stupid man, stupid woman, yeah, etc. So I think that, you know, from my point of view, this is completely not important case. I think that so unfortunately we have the same discussion in Poland. Yeah, yeah. You know, you mentioned about the Donald Trump's decision about the support from public money for person who are clearly men or women, not people who are from LGBT society. This is I don't agree with such such way of thinking. Yeah, I think that this is the same like discussion about gender. For example, for Polish President Andrzej Duda, gender, this is only ideology. This is not other problems. Ideology, in his opinion, this is a populism. So, in my opinion, his opinion about this is populism. Yeah, and I think that, you know, how big is this problem in society? I don't know, a few percent. Yeah, and why this is not possible that someone who is a woman will be a man. This is, I mean, private decision, yeah. And the constitutional system should be mm, understand such situation. Unfortunately, sometimes it's not possible, yeah. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe, of course, this is a big chapter. Yeah, discussion about this minority LGBT QI plus persons. But I think that this is, in fact, a very important topic in the contemporary democracy. And I'm sorry, Oscar, could you once again, because I didn't exactly catch the idea of the first question, yeah? Your first question, yeah?
Surprising for you because I was surprised also. And I am asking you because I am surprised.
Yeah, I see, yeah.
I don't agree with this student. And unfortunately, she cannot be here. She cannot ask you this question. But this was the approach of the project, of the research project. And the idea is that when is a huge digital divide, that you live in a country, in the countryside, you live in a village in the mountains, in the high mountains, and you don't have opportunity to access to the net. This is not only a discrimination, this is institutional violence.
Okay, yeah. I now I understand this question. So maybe you remember my presentation about digital human rights, and because today I said also that access to the media, so for example, access also to the internet, it was important thing during the analog time, but not exactly. But for example, when in 2019 in Moscow, the official switch off the internet because in the center of Moscow was riots or protesters against the Putin. So so the access to the internet was not internet was switched off. Yeah, and I think that this is, in my opinion, it could be considered as a kind of discrimination. Yeah, in such access to the internet, but of course we must remember also about possibilities. Yeah. For example, this is also the same like the access to the water, for example, yeah, or access to the clean sky or clean weather. Yeah, I think that this is a little bit the same. It could be a kind of discrimination, but in some circumstances, it could be also the kind of institutional violence, like, for example, in Moscow in 2019. Yeah, but it was, intentional decision of I don't know, police, etc., etc. Yeah, but okay, I think that yeah. Access to the internet we can consider as a 21st century human rights, yeah, because this is not only the access to the debate, but also to the public services, yeah. For example, now I have in Poland in digital clouds, for example, my ID, my personal data, etc. So also my official sign, yeah. So access to this digital sphere, it is very important, and we can consider it as a kind of human rights, yeah, in 21st century, yeah.
Okay, we have still time for a short question, very short question. If someone... Okay, well, it has been very interesting, a very fruitful conversation, as always, with Jedrzej. Very
sometimes
interesting.
maybe controversial, sometimes maybe controversial, but
yeah,
I hope maybe it could be interesting when I put some controversial thesis, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. I hope next September you will come to the Carlos III and you will give the lecture in person. I hope so, and I hope we can meet in person. Well, you are always invited to this workshop. And thank you very much. Thank you very much for your lecture. Thank you very much for the attendees. And see you in 15 days in the last lecture of this workshop with Stefania Gombini. That it will be the closing lecture of this workshop for this year. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. See you soon. See you soon. And Juan Pablo, good luck, because I know that you will have the